It's a big cover-up. It's a big, big cover-up. You know, they don't care.
His claims against the New York City Housing Authority are so serious. This employee asked that we disguise his appearance and his voice for fear of retaliation. The veteran of the agency is sharing with us exclusively what he says has been his experience with NYCHA toward lower-level workers.
You got a lot of people that are trying to do the right thing, that are breaking their arrears every day. Not to see any progress, and only to get pressured or belittled or threatened. It's just everybody's back is against the wall.
In recent months, NYCHA has been hit with countless reports highlighting the deplorable conditions in some apartments. Infestation, mold, lead paint, lack of heat and hot water, and what many describe as top-to-bottom mismanagement. The employee tells us the burden felt by NYCHA's leaders to clean up their image is being passed on to its workers. This past January, NYCHA finished the month with a backlog of more than 150,000 open work orders for issues reported by tenants. In some of the projects, staffers say they're being pressured into fraudulently closing out those work orders. Here's how it's supposed to work. When tenants call in complaints, they're given a scheduled date and time frame for when a worker is supposed to show up. But the employee tells us some supervisors are intentionally assigning these tickets to staffers several days in advance. When staffers show up days early at an apartment and no one is home, he says he and his coworkers are told to close out the order as though the job has been completed.
They're actually telling you to falsify work orders.
Absolutely. They're telling you if they're not home, close it out.
And what's their excuse?
They just tell you our counts are high. We got to get them down.
So they're actually pressuring you to get their numbers down so that
it looks in the public's eye or in City Hall's eye that they're managing their workload when they're not.
It's a claim backed up not only by other NYCHA staffers, but by many NYCHA residents we spoke with as well.
They're closing out tickets before finishing the job.
They're not properly monitoring the tickets.
The impact felt by NYCHA maintenance workers is also being felt by tenants in the NYCHA complexes, and in some cases, it's dire and dangerous.
I don't want this thing to blow up on me.
99-year-old Alice Holman lives in a NYCHA apartment in Brooklyn. She says for years she's been complaining about issues with her stove.
So you wait and you wait. Sometimes you get, sometimes you don't.
A few weeks ago, her daughter, who also lives in the housing development, says the smell of gas was so overwhelming they called 911.
The fire department came, Con Edison came, you know, the police came, everybody came then, you know, but she still has the same stove.
Some of these instances are extreme. Infestations, mold, holes in the wall, leaks. These are work orders that you are pressured to finish.
Kathy Pennington is NYCHA's Executive Vice President for Operations.
This particular employee that we spoke to tells us that they're actually being pressured by their supervisor to close work orders before the work is complete, and in other cases, without having even stepped foot in these apartments.
Well, that would be very concerning because that is absolutely not our practice, our procedure, or that is not how we train our staff.
Pennington admits the agency is overwhelmed, but denies that any supervisors have been directed or encouraged to order their subordinates to lie.
We have a high demand to perform services. So I would say, yes, we are under pressure, but in no way does that mean we curtail how we properly do the work.
It is tiring to continue to fight for where we live.
Last month, for the first time ever, the Citywide Council of Presidents, a group of tenant leaders representing the nearly 400,000 tenants across NYCHA's 326 developments, filed a lawsuit in state Supreme Court, calling for an independent monitor for the agency.
If they can't fix the system, we will look to the courts to do their jobs.
Back at Ms. Holman's apartment, when NYCHA maintenance workers found out we were there, they came and removed her stove, bringing her a replacement. The attention was able to help Ms. Holman, but there are thousands like her still waiting. This employee says he simply wants accountability.
It's in my best interest for this agency to do well. So why wouldn't I want that? You know, and if it takes this to do it, well, then it takes this to do it.
And that NYCHA executive we spoke with says the agency randomly checks closed orders and that there's a 97% satisfaction rate. But she says if tenants or workers see orders being falsified, they should report it to their regional manager or to NYCHA's inspector general. Maurice and Christine.
A really important story. Thank you, Janelle.
Sure. Thanks, Janelle.